Hi everyone and welcome to Disc Golf Valley Tips and Tricks. And here we go, 2024 with a brand new series, going through all of the courses again. And this is kind of a jumpstart series again this year. We've purchased a couple of disc packs, the Strive pack and again the Tournament pack. And because we finished up on Oak Hill, we do have a fuse, no attribute, but it's a fuse nonetheless. And so we're looking forward to using that instead of the compass that we have been using. So today we're going to be doing a practice run of Lakeside. Lovely course to play. Easy to lose your disc in the lake, but just a lot of fun. And things are now starting to get a little bit more challenging. There are still some easy holes on Lakeside, as we'll discover, but there are some more challenging holes as well. So let's get started. Okay, the first hole, when you do acquire 10 speed, you might find that you can occasionally get an ace on this one. But for today, we're just going to do a layup with our 7 speed Explorer. You can just pull it straight back and it should bring you up nicely to the basket for an easy toss in. 8 meters, I think I'll go ahead and use the backhand for this. And why don't we try out our new fuse disc? For this close to the basket, you want to be aiming high, and there we go. I don't know that there's really anything else I can show you on that. It's a very basic approach. You end up close to the basket and toss it in. Let's toss it this time. All right, hole number 2. And this is a hole that is fairly easy to actually get an eagle on. And we'll use our roll disc, the Strive Extra Glide Roll, and put our pointer up right about there and put a little bit of a hyzer on that. And it should just come swinging around and land fairly close to the basket. And because we're shooting downhill a little bit, we won't bring it down quite to the first marker there, the first line, and watch the bobbing and weaving around. And in it goes for an eagle. And we can replay this, but I don't know that there's any other play given the discs that we have. It's a pretty straightforward hole. Just keep your eye on the wind, and if you've got a 3 wind in that direction, just put a little bit more of a hyzer to counteract that. And it doesn't get much better than that. Tap it in for an eagle. All right, hole number 3, and the first couple of times you play this, you might be a little concerned, will my disc actually land on that small island out there? In real life, if I had to face this, I would be very intimidated. I maybe wouldn't put out my most favorite disc to throw here. But after you play this hole a couple times, you can find that you can fairly consistently land it. Given the disc that we have, I think we'll just have to go with our 7-speed Explorer. Once you pick up some better 5 speeds, you'll be able to use those on this hole. But right now, we have to pretty much go with our Explorer. If you do pull it down all the way, you're going to run the risk of overshooting the island, or it'll land on the island and slide into the lake. We don't want that, so let's pull back a little bit and see how we do. You can see how close that came to sliding off the island, so just remember, don't pull it back all the way if you're using that Explorer. We can play it again, but it's basically the same play. You can maybe slide it over a little bit. Put your pointer down toward the edge of the island, and don't pull it down all the way. and in it goes. So you can see some easy holes. All right, hole number 4. This is another opportunity to pick up an easy eagle, even given the disc that we have. In fact, I think we could even use our Explorer here to get our eagle. Our first throw will be to the side here. And then from here, we can go back towards the basket and use our 7 again. It barely makes it, but it usually does. And then we should be able to throw it in for our eagle. But then if you have the right wind conditions behind you, even with our Strive discs, we should be able to pick up a albatross here. Let's choose our Strive Extra Glide Light disc. Let's change it from forehand to backhand. Let's swing around and position ourselves so we don't hit our sign here. And I'd say put our arrow so it's kind of touching the Lakeside there and right about there, because these Strive discs do tend to go to the right a little bit. And yeah, that makes it. Now a little bit, well, that goes a little too far. Maybe we should try the roll disc, so if it makes it, it's going to stick the landing. That's the advantage of using a roll disc, or one of them. And it does make it. It doesn't slide away so far. The thing to know here, though, is that depending on the wind conditions, you might not be able to make it across if you don't have a water skip disc, which we do not at this point. So let's set up our practice mode so that it is actually going to Lakeside, and we'll choose hole number 4, and by doing this we can restart and replay the hole very easily to get different wind conditions. I'll show you what I mean. So we know that our Strive discs will make it if we have a wind condition going the right way like this, but let's just hit the restart button a couple of times till we get a bad wind condition. Now this is going to be very easy. What we want is the wind against us. So let's keep restarting until we get a 2 or 3 wind against us. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again in this wind condition and see if our roll disc will make it. I kind of doubt it, actually. Remember to go backhand. You'll get more distance from your backhand. Well, look at that. It does make it, even against a 2-speed wind. So, good. I'm learning things about the Strive discs. If you've bought that pack, then you should be able to get this albatross fairly easy on Lakeside. And that will really help you when you're going for your 3 stars, if you have that albatross under your belt. I don't know if we need to play it again. I think that shows you what you need to do on that hole. All right, hole number 5. If you do have a good water skip disc here, there's a chance that you can get an eagle on this one. However, if you don't have the skip disc, it's a little bit more challenging. Let's see, I think the 7 disc, you can just pull straight back and not worry about it sliding into the lake. And then with our fuse disc, there is a chance that it will make it to the basket. It's just, it's kind of a tough shot. And especially when this one does not have the accurate attribute, it's just a kind of a matter of luck. It goes way off to the side. Since this is the first time we're actually testing out this fused disc with no attributes, here's a good chance to use your rethrow option of the practice mode and just see if we can't get some consistency out of this disc that has no accurate attribute. Keeps going off to the right. Let's hit rethrow again, and let's just see if we compensate by moving our pointer over about the distance that it fades off to the right, and see if we can't get this. It falls a little short. Let's try it one more time. Wait for this boat to pass. Actually, if you hit a boat, I think you get some extra points. You should try it sometime. Let's try what about there. And I don't know. Let's replay that again and put a birdie up on the board at least. So 7-speed, the Explorer, pull it straight back, let it fly, fly, fly. And even our fuse, there's no chance from this. That's 71 meters, just won't make it. But at least you can get it to lay up. For an easy comeback, let's just throw this or toss it in for our nice birdie. All right, hole number 6. Be nice to have the flyover here. If this is the first time you're seeing this hole, the basket is over the lake and around to our right. And so whatever disc you decide to use, you need to keep that in mind. But it's only 71 meters away, so you don't need much disc. In fact, sometimes you can get away with a 3-speed here. The fuse that we have here doesn't really like to turn. But let's give it a try. What you want to do is slide this over and position your pointer so it's kind of lining up with that tree there. And then put quite a bit of a hyzer on this, and let's see if it makes it. It does, but you can see it was really reluctant to turn, that fuse. Let's try it again. Put more of a hyzer on it. Just doesn't like to turn. Let's play it again, and this time let's use our Explorer. With the Explorer, there's a chance that you can slide over again. There's a chance that you can ace this with the Explorer. The problem is when you miss your ace, it does have a tendency to slide away into the bushes. But let's give it a try. Oh, in it goes. So with a little practice there, you might find that you can use that Explorer to your advantage. But I would highly recommend you put some time in and practice that. Next hole. All right, hole number 7. And this is actually another good hole for our Explorer disc. I usually put my pointer right on the edge of the lake. Right about there. And then I don't usually pull it all the way back. If you have it all the way back, you can slide away from the basket too far, but maybe just below the second line there, and a little bit of a hyzer on it, and that should come swinging around, and with a little luck, go in the basket for another ace. Not this time, but come back for our birdie. You're going downhill a little bit, so don't bring it all the way down like you normally do on the return. Let's try it one more time, see if we can't pick up that ace. And taking a look at the wind, we'll probably put just a little bit more of a hyzer on it this time. But all we really need is our birdie. And sometimes you just have to be happy with that. All right, hole number 8. And you remember at the beginning of the video I was mentioning that some of the holes on this course are a little bit challenging. This is what I was talking about. We don't really have any good discs that work well with this hole, but the best one is probably the Explorer, and the idea is to get it to land on that little raft out there. And you kind of have to spend some time practicing this. Choose the disc that you're planning to use, and then just practice with it in any given wind condition, because this can really mess you up when you're going for your 3 stars. Here it is, hole number 8. You could be doing really great, and you get to this hole and end up getting a quadruple bogey on it, and you have to start all over again. And so it's good to learn what you need to do with the disc that you're planning to use in any given wind condition. And for this wind condition, I'm going to put my disc right about there and bring it down to about here and cross my fingers. Boom. Now it's nice to know that with almost any disc, if you do get it inside this enclosure or raft, whatever you want to call it, some people call it an island, it's going to stick the landing. So your main goal is just to get it in place, and then you can come back for your birdie. But like I said, you need to practice this one. Let's try it again. And the wind hasn't changed much, so we can pretty much do the same thing, but I would spend some time and, are we going to get a... Ooh, look at that. We bounced off and went into the water. Well, here's a good chance to show you what you can do when something like that happens. Is they bring you off to the shore for your drop zone, and it's actually good to spend some time practicing this as well, so that if it does happen to you, you can feel comfortable of knowing what you need to try and do to come back and get this putt so that you don't lose more points. Like that. So just keep hitting the rethrow button so you get comfortable with this as well. How much you need to bring it down, and this will vary depending on your wind condition. Kind of wait for the cameraman to get... And that happens a lot. You miss the basket, and so you end up with, I think it's a minus or a bogey. So you can see how important this is to practice this. Let's do it one more time. A little bit stronger wind this time, so I'm going to compensate by bringing my pointer over a little bit more. And boom. If you're lucky, you do ace this one, and that solves all of your problems. But I'm happy with the birdie when I get it. All right, last hole, and there's a lot of different ways to play this. I'm going to show you 2 ways, and the first way is going to get us a birdie. Let's just take our fuse, pull straight back, full distance, takes us to the first little island here, repeat with the fuse, go to the next island, and from here I think I'll go with the 7 speed here. The tree's kind of in our way, so we're going to take it off here and put quite a bit of an anhyzer on this, but I would say don't pull it back all the way. Just come back a bit. And then put it into the basket for a birdie. And because it's a par 5, we get a birdie even though we had 4 strokes. Let's try that again because don't normally end up behind that tree. Repeat. Oh, that was close. But from here, I think we can get away with another fuse. I think the fuse will make it from up here. And then in for our birdie. But now let's take a look and see how we can get an eagle here. Let's replay this. We start out the same with our fuse disc and just pull it straight back. The further we can slide up to that log, the better. And then from here, yeah, with this wind, I think I'll probably go with the extra glide one, the light disc. And let's put a little bit of a anhyzer on this. Let that just come back. And return for our eagle. Let's try it one more time. I wonder if we put it up a little bit, if that disc would fly just a little bit further towards that log. A little bit. And check your wind. We're going against the wind this time, so again I'll choose the extra glide. Come back for our eagle. All right, so there you go, a practice round of Lakeside. Hope you were able to pick up some tips so that you can get your 3 stars on this course, and that's what we're going to do in our next video, so be sure and come back and we 3-star Lakeside. We'll see you then.